Right, hello, welcome back to another Grand Cross video. Today is going to be a guide on gear. We're going to go deep into describing all the details about equipment in this game, gear, whatever you like to call it. We are going to be focusing on the beginner's aspect of it at first, and the materials that are needed, the materials that you want to be using. But firstly, to start off as a basic, what we're going to do, we're just basically going to show you how to level up gear and how we're working it. So just as an example, we'll go for some crap, we'll go for, got any common? No, we haven't got any common gear, none at all. We have no common gear. No, we don't. Right, we'll just go for this bit of rare gear here. Basically, what you have these materials that are needed, these here, enhanced materials, and you get them from salvaging equipment with Diane in the tavern. And yeah, so every piece of equipment you don't want, you just go over to Diane, you salvage it, but the best way to do that is you upgrade it once. Just upgrade once, and it gives you a bit of extra luck, it gives you more chance to get these, and it also gives you more chance to get awakening stones. Now I'll quickly advance this up to level 5 to show you how to awaken the gear. Once it gets to level 5, as you can also see down here, you have a failure gauge. That's because as you awaken them up by star, the chance of success goes down by 20%, I think. So now we'll awaken. It costs these here, awakening material stones. The higher the rank of the gear, so if it goes from common to uncommon to rare to SR to SSR. We're doing rare at the moment just as basically a show of what to do. So yeah, you'll just spend it, it'll awaken, and then what it does, it unlocks a substat. Now with HP gear, you want to be basically re-rolling substats for HP. The reason for that, so that as you can see here, you have 4 different substats for HP. You've got regeneration rate, lifesteal, and recovery rate. On your health gear, never go for anything else. No matter what, just go for HP, because you need the survivability. The more health, the better, and also the better your combat power. And the higher your combat power, you are going to start first in matches on PvP as well as even on PvE. But yeah, that's just a quick and simple explanation about substats and awakening and leveling up your gear. But firstly, the reason why you want to use rare gear and common gear actually on starting out, that's very late in the night actually, 1 o'clock in my time. I should really be in bed, but got to start making some more videos. So what you have is you have rare gear on the left, and then you have common gear on the right. This is my gear from the very start of when I first started playing global. I had rare. This is Pierce. So this is for Hauser. I'll explain later on. There's certain characters that you do want different substats other than just attack and defense and HP. But yeah, you want rare on this side because the gear on this side, the attack stat there, or the stats in general, there are higher than they are on this side, 125. So if that was rare, that would be like 150 probably attack. Yeah, so the reason why you want to go for common on this side is because the stat there doesn't really make a difference. However, when you are re-rolling, it does cost you coins there, gold, and it only costs 5,000 to re-roll a stat at one time. So we'll give a quick so what we'll do, we'll re-roll for attack, we want 3% attack, that's highest it can possibly be. We'd apply, and then we just do repeat change, and we'd wait, keep going until it goes to attack at least 3%. And yeah, it looks like we're not going to get now here. I won't keep at that. Right, let's just stop that. And I only use this gear for associations anyway. But yeah, you want to do re-roll it. Make sure you get to at least, I'd say, 2.5% attack on your attack and defense gear. and that's just going to help you get the best basic stats and helps you grow your CP, and you will see a massive difference if you make sure your substats are all decent high percentage. Another thing as well, with gear you do have sets, so as you can see in the top right corner of this gear here, you do have the little attack sign, and on the top right corner of this gear here you do have the defense sign. What basically this is, if you have 4 pieces of equipment that have attack on it, you will get an extra 20% attack there, and then with defense you only need 2 pieces of equipment with defense, and you'll get an extra 20%. It does stack, so if you had 6 pieces of defense equipment, you would get 60%, as you'd have 20% again, and 20%, and then 20%. So you'd have 60% defense. I wouldn't recommend that. I would go for attack and defense if it is for a character who is there to do damage. Alternatively, this guy here, Gilthunder, he's a support character. He does boost attack for your allies, so you will be wanting a HP gear set on him, HP and defense. And what that does, HP, exactly what it says on the tin, it boosts HP by 20%. So with HP again you need 4, and that is because if it was only 2, everyone would have 4 of these, and then you get extra 40%, and HP will just be absolutely massive. But yeah, HP, you definitely want that on your support types or your healing types, and basically just to give them a bit more survivability than say if you had attack and defense gear. And then apologies, on the HP, the substats again, they want to be 12%. They want to be HP substats. Whereas on this gear, not this gear, sorry, on my Lilia gear, I do actually have her substats for her attack. It's pierce rate, and the reason being, because there's certain characters in this game where the unique effects do make a massive difference with their substats. Lilia's, Blue Lilia, right here, her unique is increases all allies' pierce rate by the value equal to 50% of the hero's pierce rate at the start of battle. So without any gear on, her pierce rate is 53%. Oh. Then I will shot on her own pierce rate gear. Well, here it is now. So the pierce rate is then increased by 28.5% and then 27.7% there, and that will increase the pierce rate by 109%. So then when she is on the front line in a match, her allies are getting an extra, what's that, 54 and a bit, yeah, about 54.5% extra pierce rate. And yeah, that just means the pierce rate basically means you're just ignoring resistance, you're going straight in, more damage, and yeah, just cut through enemies with cleave teams. With Demon Meliodas, for example, he has a card where he does 3 times pierce damage, and it's also an AoE, sorry, so he attacks everyone and absolutely cleaves them, destroys everyone in one turn. Yeah, this combination, Blue Lily and Blue Demon Meliodas, is a combination to be wary of if you are going in PvP. But yeah, these are the substats here. So you got pierce rate, you got resistance. Resistance is a really good substat. Basically, if you have high enough resistance and the enemy attacker has a low attack or low pierce rate, you basically won't take any damage. It'll just pop up on the screen as you're getting hit, resistance, and you won't receive any sort of damage. Regeneration rate, pointless substat, just ignore that. Crit chance, what it says on the tin, the higher the crit chance, the more likely you are to crit when you hit. I believe if you do have it over 100%, you're guaranteed to crit, obviously unless the enemy's crit resistance, which is here, is quite high. It negates it, so if you had 100% crit chance and the enemy had 5%, it would take it down to 95%, so it's still pretty high. But yeah, pretty decent. Crit defense, that just lowers the damage taken when you are crit. Recovery rate, again, it's pretty naff substat. Just basically when you're healing, it increases the amount you are healed by a little bit. And then lifesteal, it's a really good substat. some cards have really good lifesteal. Example being Esteros has, I think, like 15% lifesteal. So the damage you give, Lilia here for example, if she give 100k damage, she would be taking back 2% to heal on herself. So yeah, pretty decent. They're the substats, and basically you have specific equipment sub roles for specific characters. But for now, as a beginner, you just want 3 sets of attack and defense gear, all attack, all defense, and all HP substats, and then you want 1 HP and defense gear, and exactly the same, all attack, all defense, and all HP. And that will carry you through the story as you work your way through the game, and you get a bit more settled, your account starts to build up a bit more, and you're able to do Training Cave, which gives you access to all the materials in order to awaken SSR gear. And I'll quickly show you. So we'll go back to the tavern now. The Training Cave, it's basically, you have 9 fights, I believe. You can choose from level 1 to 2 to 3 in each fight, but you do want to go for level 3, because if you do 3 fights at level 3 and you complete them, you then go to an extra stage sorry, which gives you an awakening stone that allows you to awaken your SSR gear to UR gear, and I'll explain UR gear later on, but for now I'll just quickly show you Training Cave. So Training Cave, right here, or Training Grotto as it's called here for whatever reason. Unfortunately I've already completed it, so I can't go into the menu, but I will be doing a video just basically showing you the teams that I use to beat each stage at level 3. But what it is basically, you have 9 fights like I said. With each fight you use your characters. Once you've used your characters, so say for example I use a team with Mikasa, Esterosa and Escanor with Lilia at the back or something. Once that fight's over and I've won, these 4 units can't be used again. So that's why you need your box to be pretty packed in terms of decent characters, or at least characters that are fully awakened and at least level 60 in order to beat the Training Cave, because unfortunately equipment isn't taken into account in Training Cave, it's all unequipped. So you want your combat power to at least be 90,000 for each fight, or at least 85,000 in order to use CP food to get you going first, because it is a massive advantage going first, especially in Training Cave. But the reward for Training Cave, I'll show you right now. Once you start beating level 3s, it gives you the materials you need in order to UR your gear. Once you start making better gear, get your SSR gears awakened, and you then move on to the step of getting into UR gear, and that is when you start seeing massive differences in your stats. So I'll give you an example now. I'll use this gear here. And also what you need to do, you can also awaken rare gear to upgrade it to SR gear, but I wouldn't recommend that. I would only use these stones for SSR gear, especially if you're free to play. But you do need to get them 5-star and then an extra +5 level. And then they do become available. You go to the screen and you will see them here in this menu. So anyways, you select that, and then with UR gear, you have to select a hero that it'll be equipped to. The only other heroes can use the UR gear, but it will not give you the extra stats. It will just act as a normal SSR gear. So you choose the hero. I'll just use Diana as an example. So what you need is a 6-star awakening stone. And you need these here. This is what you get from Training Cave. Training Cave is every 4 days, and you're guaranteed at least I think 5 out of Training Cave. But if you're lucky with drops, you can end up with like 10 or 12. That's if you're lucky though. So yeah, you need 10 of these in order to awaken SR gear, and then 1 of these 6-star awakening stones, and I'll quickly show you now. What these are, you go to King here. You go to Awakening Equipment, Awakening Stone here, and then these are the stones that you get from salvaging equipment. And how to get the 6-star stone is you have to trade in a 5-star Awakening Stone, 6 of them, in order to get 1 of these. And you only need 1, luckily. 1 of these and 10 of the purple stones, and you can then awaken a piece of equipment up to UR. So it does take time, it's a lot of graft, but it is worth it in the long run, especially if you go on geared PvP and you start to get higher up in the ranks. But I'll quickly show you how to salvage gear. So we'll as an example, we won't use that. We'll use that rare gear that we awakened earlier. We won't use these either. Seems to have vanished. Right, we'll just use these as an example for now. So you get to use 12 at a time, but in order to increase the luck of or the rewards, I should say, of the gear, you do want to at least level up the gear once. And say 12 of these, it adds up. It makes a massive difference. So none of these are leveled up. So I'm just going in with the borderline look that you would normally get, and all I got is 36. So yeah, not the best. If you get SR gear that you salvage, and I'll show you what ones you want to salvage. We'll go back to the equipment screen properly here. If you have a look at the equipment stats at the very top here, you go to the reroll screen. See here, the basic stats here. If the basic stats, because it randomly, when you unlock a bit of gear or you farm gear up and the drop for you, the stats can either be down here, that starts at 390, or they can be 520, and you've got a decent roll of gear there, and you can just work on that. This was, I haven't changed this, I haven't put any stones in or anything, I've just kept it like this. It's pretty decent for now. But a good example of one that you would want to salvage, see this is nearly perfect this, I'm keeping this for Zeldris for crit chance. But yeah, nearly 520, nearly a perfect basic start there. But then you go down to this one here, and yeah, 448. You're literally getting half the amount of attack that you could possibly get. So these are the ones that you want to salvage. If it's less than 3/4, you just want to upgrade it once and then salvage it, because the higher the rarity of equipment you salvage, the better the rewards. So yeah, I'd definitely do that. And then all of your SR gear, no matter what, just to upgrade them once and then salvage them. Every single bit of SR gear, because SR gear is absolutely useless. Do not touch SR gear. The reason being, in order to reroll your substats, it costs you anvils. I'll show you what anvils are. These are also something that you get in the training cave, as well as guild boss once you start doing that. But yeah, it costs you anvils. So with this SR equipment here, pretty decent, it's pretty perfect roll there. I want to go for HP. You would re-roll with anvils to find your HP. Now yeah, not lifesteal, waiting for changing until HP becomes 3%. Unfortunately we didn't get that. We'll go one more, why not? No luck there. Right, so we'll just leave that for now. That's there waited to be re-rolled to have all HP stats, and I can shot him on to my Meliodas. Once Meliodas gets UR gear available to him, I have got his gear pretty much ready for it. But yeah, basically any sort of equipment that is like this, you salvage. SR equipment, you salvage, because the stats aren't worth it, and it's not worth re-rolling with anvils. Where with rare gear, you can re-roll with your gold, and it's much more obtainable gold. You just farm up the books. I'll quickly show you the book stage. Overnight, once you get a decent farming team, a good example being Red Hauser and Green Elizabeth. Where's that Green Elizabeth? SR Green Elizabeth, where you at? Here's, yeah, Elizabeth and Hawk. She's a decent farmer because of this card here. Pierce rate ×3, attack on all enemies, and yeah, it does decent damage. Clears out enemies pretty quickly, especially on the book stages, which are very easy to farm. It's the stage that you farm up in order to get the books to evolve characters. However, there's a trick in the game. If you leave it farm overnight, and you farm this stage, for example, Blue Book, and you leave that overnight to farm, And how you do that is this little button here, down here, put it on, so it uses auto uses your standard pots, no restriction, click OK, and then you just press start, and it would auto farm overnight, and you collect literally hundreds and hundreds of bucks, and then when you wake up in the morning, you say you've got like 500 bucks to sell, free Starbucks. That's worth, what I'd say, about $1 million in itself. And then you have these 6. I've got 5 Starbucks here that you get about, I'd say, 20 overnight. You sell that, it's worth 36k. You are making a lot of money. For 14 of these 4 stars, let's have a look, 168k, and you're getting a hell of a lot out of that. But anyways, yeah, that's the best way to work on your gear. Pretty much just starting out. Yeah, it's a little beginner's guide, little tips and tricks and advice on how to go about equipment at the start of this game. It is pretty confusing at first, but once you get used to it, it does become a lot simpler and becomes second nature. And you'll find as you progressing through the game, it'll just become part of your daily thing, part of your daily routine on this game, to upgrade gear, to give it to specific characters, and hopefully, I'd say in about 3 years time of this game's lifespan, I should have UR gear for pretty much every character, and that is a goal of mine, to have UR gear for every character available. Hopefully I do get to that point. But yeah, anyways, thank you for watching. If you did find this video helpful in any sort of way, please leave a like and subscribe, it would be much appreciated. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.